And we are live, ladies and gentlemen, on Pup Nation YouTube. The Jamboree is happening. You see the Caney Valley Bullpups. You see the Phil Kinley NATO. We don't have too much as far as numbers and players and things like that, but we are testing the stream here on Pup Nation YouTube. I'm Chris Freund. We have Shay Neal here as well. Shay is the sports director for KGGF. So, Shay, you're quite familiar with all three of these teams.
Yeah, all three. You and me, Chris. We cover these teams quite a bit. Love watching all three of these teams. I love seeing them go head-to-head. It was super cool for me there. You see Caney on offense, of course, running that wing T style offense that Coach Davis has made so famous here in Caney. To see all those players go down in unison at the snap, that was super cool.
No doubt, no doubt. So 18 plays on offense, 18 plays on defense. That's what you're going to see here from Caney and Phil Kinley.
And Bullpup fans know, Chris, one of the big question marks this year, it seems like every year Bullpups have good running backs. That's a staple of Bullpup football. But you're replacing a really good running back now with the graduation of Jackson Griffin. So who's going to step up? Who's going to be that lead back in 2024?
If I have to guess, it's going to be a combination of a couple of different players. Ben Matthews, I think we'll see a lot at the tight end position, but you might be able to see him in running back and fullback as well. Traxon Garten, I believe number 27, he is out there, and you'll be able to see him. He got some pretty good carries last year as well, so we'll see how this whole shapes up. And from what I understand, we might see a little something different this year from Caney than we have in years past. I'm not going to say what.
Well, I liked what I saw there. That was a nice little play action, roll left, hit the tight end in the flat. That's a nice little 15-yard gain against a good Coffeyville defense.
Absolutely.
Fooled them. And while we're talking here on the Pup Nation YouTube channel, Chris, speaking of Jackson Griffin, a really cool moment, really cool week for Caney Bullpup fans in the city of Caney. Jackson Griffin, of course, committed to Coffeyville back in the spring, but had to earn a roster spot, had to go compete with a bunch of really good football players in spring workouts, summer camp, fall camp, and had to make the final 85-man roster cut. He did. Coach Nick Dilboy had nothing but good things to say about Jackson's work ethic, his talent, his football instincts, and now Jackson Griffin officially a college football player for the Red Ravens. Pretty cool.
Gotta love that. Gotta love that. Of course, we saw him on both sides of the ball here at Caney. He is a linebacker.
He'll be a full-time linebacker for CCC.
Which, to me, you can't get much better than Jackson Griffin at linebacker. So 18 plays on offense, 18 plays on defense for both teams. Testing out the video stream here on Pup Nation YouTube as the referees, they're getting their workout in too.
Yeah, safety and
flags.
Safety and a tight end got tangled up there, and you can play the ball, but you can't play the ball by going through the receiver, and that's what we saw on that play.
This isn't the XFL, and there may be some people who don't even remember.
Nor is this the NHL.
That's true. That is true. So we're trying out the stream here on Bullpup Nation YouTube. This is what we're going to try to do this year. The plan is to broadcast home football games through video stream. Now, if you want to catch the broadcast home and away on the radio, you can definitely do that. Most of the time, it will be on Greatest Hits 104.1. You'll have me bringing you all the action on Greatest Hits 104.1. If that changes and we have to go to another station like during KO, there's a nice run right there. If we have to go to another station, we will definitely let you know, and plenty of time to make that change. But most of the time, unless there's KU football on, Caney Bullpup football will be on Greatest Hits 104.1.
Well, and since I'm sitting here, Chris, I can tell you that week 2, the Jayhawks do play on Friday night. So that will be the Erie game for Caney that week, the home opener. That'll be a conflict on Greatest Hits 104.1. So not 100% sure yet if the Bullpups will end up being on US 98, or I know they're also going to be game of the week that week. So
that is true.
I'm not sure what we've decided there, but we will, of course, let you know as soon as we know.
Absolutely.
We won't miss a Bullpup game, I promise you that.
That is for sure. There's a nice run into the end zone there. And for the first time this year, I get to say, hey, that's a CVTD right there.
And they look good, man. I know that, You know, Coffeyville lost Caney White, the defensive tackle, really good player. Also lost Amani Luton, who's now at Garden City. So Coffeyville replacing some really talented players on the defensive side of the ball. But this is still a really good NATO defense. And those first 5, 6, 7 plays you saw there from the Bullpups, they looked really good and moved the ball well against Field Kinley.
And that's what you love to see, especially in this Jamboree, just seeing the offensive line, defensive line working together. Quarterback getting in sync with his receivers, things like that, his tight end. Ben Matthews is not dressed out, but you can see that senior leadership right there.
Yeah, like
coaching up some players.
Like you said, Chris, that's a captain. I'm not sure if he's dealing with an injury. He wants to make sure he's good for week 1, or if this was just something that Coach Davis didn't want to risk tonight. But seeing a guy that's not even actively playing tonight out there with his guys, telling him what he's seeing from the sidelines, that's a leader.
Definitely so. Definitely so. Nice cut, way to avoid a tackle. Didn't get past the second one, but a nice run through anyway.
It was good effort from both teams. I like what I saw from the running back there, like you said, being showing the agility, getting around the first 2 defenders, but also good pursuit from Coffeyville after the first 2 defenders missed, having a 3rd and 4th right in the vicinity.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. So just going over everything, for the most part, Caney Bullpup football will be on Greatest Hits 104.1. Field Kinley football will be on Sunshine 98.9, and then our high school game of the week will be on the 9690 KGGF. So a lot of great things happening on the radio waves for football and basketball.
That's right. And if you're a high school football fan, I'd venture to say that you're probably also a college football fan. And we are also your radio home for Red Raven football, Jayhawk football, and Wildcat football. And hey, if you love the National Football League as well, we also bring you the Kansas City Chiefs each and every week.
Yeah, we might as well throw in the Chiefs too. I hear they're doing well.
Not too bad.
Well, pretty decent.
Maybe the best run in franchise history.
Probably so. Probably so. Nice run up the middle there. Good blocking from the offensive line to get a couple out of that one. So tell your friends, tell your neighbors, all home games are going to be on Bullpup Nation on YouTube. With the audio broadcast, Greatest Hits 104.1. And a big thank you goes out to Superintendent Vargas, who has helped us get this stream going. The last time I believe the YouTube channel was used, as there's a pass out in the flat. Nice catch there. You know it's going to be a good season if you're in a Jamboree and it takes 4 defenders to bring you down.
That's right. And going back to the setup and what Superintendent Vargas did. I mean, this isn't, Chris, just a GoPro, pushed up against the wall or anything like that. This is a nice setup. We've got a full-on mixer here. We've got a beautiful camera with a tripod set up outside the window. So they took this seriously. If they were going to do it, they were going to do it well.
We do have some information. Thank you. We have some information on why Ben is not dressed out tonight. Ben Matthews does have a bruised shoulder, and they're just taking it easy, playing it safe with Ben Matthews. Of course, he is. He can play in multiple positions. In fact, my first year, I believe, when he was a sophomore, he actually played quarterback for a little while, but he has bounced around between tight end last year and running back, and then plays defense as well. So when you've got a guy that's as vital to his team as Ben Matthews is, of course you're going to try to, it's a long season, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, and he's not just one of the best, as Bullpups draw the NATO offsides there. It's not just that Ben Matthews is one of the best players on the field for Caney, Chris. It's also the fact that we talked about his leadership earlier. You want a guy like Ben Matthews out there because he's going to make sure the younger guys know where they're supposed to be in a certain formation and know what their assignment is on a certain 3rd down play. You want a senior that's seen 2-3 years of game experience out there just for the mental aspect of it.
There's a nice run up the right side in between guard and tackle. That would have been enough for a first down. And you're right. That senior leadership, there's a lot of great senior leadership on this team. And then it's kind of an interesting mix because even though there's a lot of senior leadership, there's a lot of young people on the team as well. The sophomores that they're going to be making an impact for the next couple of years especially.
And just since I've been here, Chris, I mean, it's just so fun to see bullpup athletes learning as the years go on from other bullpup athletes. I mean, my first year I was out here, of course, Ashton King, the star senior running back. After Ashton King, the baton was passed to Jackson Griffin. Now Jackson Griffin's graduated off to college, and now Ben Matthews is asked to be a big leader of this team. And then it's going to be passed on to the juniors of next year's team. So it's cool to see these guys step up, but step up because they learned from their teammates in years past.
Absolutely. The flag on the play there looked kind of like a horse collar. You saw it yesterday, and Shay saw it in person yesterday. Opening games and things like that. There's going to be some sloppy play, but just cleaning that up.
D linemen and linebackers are very anxious to make some tackles for the first time in 10 months. So you might get a couple roughing the passers, a couple face masks. They're a little too amped up sometimes in week one.
And I believe that is 18 plays for Caney's offense, which means Phil Kelly's offense is going to be up next.
And this will be a fun challenge here for the Caney defense. Obviously, Caney's defense has been kind of notoriously rock solid under Coach Davis, but you're going to be seeing a star running back in Aaron Tunstall here, although I don't think you're going to see the full NATO offense here tonight.
Right.
But you're going to see a really talented running back in Aaron Tunstall, a 3-year starting quarterback in Axel Ernie, talented receiver Keyshawn Hayes, and a solid offensive line. This is going to be a good test for the Caney defense to see you're going up against a playoff caliber offense. Can you slow them down?
Absolutely, and if you can slow them down even just a couple of plays, you will have done well.
I'm having fun watching these JV guys over here. I'll tell you what, I started watching with Coffeyville and Independence, and now with Coffeyville and Caney, we got some JV players just balling out over here, Chris.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
There's touchdowns almost it seems like every other player over here.
The JV team, the JV squad has done really well for Caney here the last few years, and it's made the transition easier to go from JV to varsity.
Well, I was going to say, we hear all the time in like minor league baseball and G League basketball that records don't matter, wins and losses don't matter. I tend to disagree with that because of what you just talked about with the JV team. It builds a culture, it builds a winning mindset, Chris. When these seniors graduate off of varsity and you need a freshman or a sophomore to come up off of JV and take his place, he's used to winning football, he's used to playing good football, and the transition's a lot easier for Coach Davis.
Absolutely, and there were freshmen and sophomores playing varsity last year and making a big difference in how the game was going. They were definitely they were making it, well, I say making a difference, but they were showing their skills as an athlete even at a freshman and sophomore level. So with more varsity experience this year, that will do nothing but help.
Caney's still out on offense.
Caney is still on offense.
I'm not sure if there was a timeout or just kind of like a short little timeout, or if Caney realized they had a few more plays to run.
Might have been a water break too.
Yeah.
So either way, Caney's still on offense right now. Just a few more plays, and then Caney will switch to defense, and that should wrap up the Jamboree between Phil Kelly Independence and your Caney Valley Bullpups.
This is my second time going to this, Chris, and I just think this is just such a fun way to start the season. 3 Montgomery County football teams, 3 teams that made the playoffs a year ago, 3 teams that we expect to make the playoffs again in 2024, all on one field on the last Friday night before we get it started for real, and just going at it. I mean, this is what every high school football fan in Southeast Kansas is dreaming about.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. As the ball goes loose, the ball comes loose, and it's still loose. And it looks like Kelly might have picked that one up. So since we're talking about schedules, talking about it being the last Friday before action starts week 1, just in case you have not heard, due to there's a problem with finding officials. There's not as many officials as there used to be in the Tri-Valley, especially not just the Tri-Valley, but just in Kansas in general, from what I understand. So the first game for Caney at Humboldt is going to be Thursday night, and it's at Humboldt. So Caney at Humboldt Thursday night. We will, of course, have that game for you on Greatest Hits 104.1. Looking forward to bringing you that game. But just know that it's a nice push toward the goal line there. Just know that almost went in. That's true. And just so you know, Caney is not the only one having to reschedule or move games around during the week. I know Independence has been having to move some games as well. So it's a lot of schools having to redo some of their scheduling. just because got to get good officials on the field.
That's
and
right.
There's not as many as there used to be.
Well, and we've been fortunate enough so far that our game schedule for KGGF hasn't been impacted a ton. But I talked to Cherryville Athletic Director Kendra Smith, as now they're switching sides. But I talked to Cherryville Athletic Director Kendra Smith a couple weeks ago, Chris, and already 2 Charger games have been moved up to Thursday night this year, too. So if you're a fan of a Tri-Valley League school, Fredonia, Neota, Shea, Cherryville, Humboldt, Erie, Eureka, Caney, you're going to want to, keep your eye on making sure that Friday games stay Friday games, because it's pretty up in the air right now.
Yeah, it really is. And then, of course, Caney does have one Saturday game up in Lenexa, Kansas. And that game had to be moved back an hour because of scheduling conflicts. I believe that is against Christ Prep Academy, if I remember correctly. I don't have the schedule in front of me.
Yes, you would be correct. And that is on, let me get that date for you.
Shane Neal has the schedule for everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Caney's still on offense. What happened is that they scored a touchdown.
Oh.
So they moved him back to the 35.
And yeah, now I think that might be their last
That's a
play.
one-on-one. Almost. Yeah, take a shot downfield. The defender got lucky on that. He wasn't really looking at the ball, and the ball just happened to hit him in the left shoulder. But a nice pass nonetheless. Good to see Caney throwing the ball downfield every now and then.
Absolutely. And we talked about the caliber of talent of the teams, Chris, and how these are 3 teams on the football field that we expect to make the playoffs this year and have really successful seasons. And I think that starts with, obviously, the head coaches. You can't win games without talented players, but you can't have talented players without good head coaches. And Field Kinley having Coach Deontay Wade, and Independence having Coach Kendall Fiskus, and, of course, the legend, Chris Davis here at Caney. I mean, Montgomery County and high school football here in this area, we're treated with a lot of really, really good coaches.
That's true, and really a second-generation legend. Chris Davis is a legend as well, but his dad before him over in Sedan, if I remember correctly. I'm learning more about this, ladies and gentlemen. Mm-hmm. But if I remember correctly, it's Coach Davis's 39th season as head coach of Caney football. 39 seasons, goodness.
And I don't have the numbers in front of me, Chris, but I'd be willing to bet winning record in probably 30 of those 39 seasons.
I would say so. Some people would say they might have had a little bit of a down year last year, and they were 5-3. And that's a down year.
And that's the standard of this program.
It is.
Bare minimum that this community and Coach Davis and this team expects every year is win games, go to the playoffs, and win a playoff game.
That's true.
That's what Caney football expects to do every year.
No doubt about it. That was a nice sack by the defense line. It was more of a covered sack by Kinley.
I think finally now we might be switching sides. They're coming to the sideline now.
Okay, now they're coming this way. Okay, we're good now. We appreciate you joining us here on Pup Nation YouTube. This is our first test of the video stream. So tell your friends, tell your neighbors, if you have family or friends that don't live close to Caney, but they want to watch Caney football, they'll be able to this year. Home football games will be on a Bull Pup Nation. And of course, even if you just want to listen to the game, you can do that if you happen to live away from Caney. You can listen through kggfradio.com, or you can listen through the app available on any of the Play stores. That would be KGGF-FM 104.1. And I believe even if you have Alexa, you can listen through her. Around my house, we call her She Who Shall Remain Nameless, so she doesn't start listening when she's not supposed to. So plenty of ways to listen and to watch Caney Valley football. And you know it's a jamboree when the referees are practicing throwing flags.
It's opening night for everybody.
It is. I knew there was no help. No help from you.
I'm doing the best I can.
Not you, the song.
Oh, okay.
You're great.
And I'll tell you what, Chris, I mean, I think everybody in the state of Kansas knows it's been a ridiculously hot summer.
Yes.
But now that we're down, I believe it's 78 right now here in Caney. 78 has never felt more like a 60-degree October night.
That's for sure.
Oh, man.
It's great. And we're even inside. So I can only imagine with the light breeze. From what I understand, there's some rain going on down south of us and east down in Oklahoma.
For the first time in maybe 6 months, Chris, I'm excited to walk back to my car after we're done here.
No doubt. No doubt. That was a nice pass from Jackson Curtin to the sideline, or from the sideline to about midfield.
Always stay ready.
You never know.
You never know.
So Field Kelly will take their turn on offense here in the Jamboree.
Like we talked about, Chris, this is a great opportunity for the Bullpups to go up against a really top-tier offense. Aaron Tunstall, Axel Ernie, Keyshawn Hayes, and they're coming out 3 wide, shotgun formation. This is a big boy offense they're going up against.
It is. There's the pass and the rollout. And a nice job by the Caney defender to go low and bring him to the ground. That was about a 9-yard gain.
Yeah, and there was the aforementioned Aaron Tunstall on the catch. And I know this is Pup Nation, of course, that we're streaming on here, but you know, we do cover Field Kinley football, and this is a big key for Field Kinley this year. We know that Aaron Tunstall is one of the most talented running backs in the state of Kansas. We know if he's healthy and on the field, he's going to be excellent. I think the key for this team is Axel Ernie taking that next step in his development. If the NATO can consistently complete those 10 to 25-yard passes and keep defenses from putting 8 guys in the box against Tunstall, this team might not win or might not lose more than 1 or 2 games this year.
That is true. That is true. See, now to me, that pass, I know they're warming up and everything. I know they're just getting going here.
That was a little low.
Just a little low. Yep. So if you
good read, but put it higher. Give the guy a chance to make a play after the catch.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. And that's a part of the development, development you're talking about.
Yeah, and we've talked to Axel multiple times on our stations, and Axel's a great kid and has all the talent in the world. And this isn't. I don't want this to sound like it's me criticizing Axel.
Right, exactly.
I think he's more than capable of being a great quarterback for this football team, and he's a 3-year starter. And Coach Wade started him since his sophomore year because he believes in him. I think Axel would tell you if we asked him the same thing, what's the key to the NATO success this year, and he's going to say it's about me and everybody on this team getting better.
Right. No doubt. And the one thing I will say about athletes, just knowing athletes like I do and getting to know them more and more, we can be hard on them, but we will never be harder on athletes than they are on themselves.
No doubt about it.
And that's what you love to see. As long as it stays within a reason, as long as it's always to try to get better and not just being down on yourself just because. There's a pass.
That was incomplete, but I love the aggression from Axel. That was a really tight spiral, too. That was a good-looking throw.
And to me, it was a good no call by the ref either, because there was a little bit of contact from both sides.
I don't mind the no call there. Like you said, it was kind of back and forth. I think that's fair to let that go, but that's something we didn't see a lot of last year, and that's what I'm talking about with this NATO offense is taking those shots down the field, giving Axel Ernie the trust where it's like, hey, there's stuff in the box trying to contain Aaron. Let's take a shot down the field. And if he throws it like he threw it there, NATO are going to have success. That was a good-looking throw.
That was a really good-looking throw. Pretty good defense as well. And you know, as a Pup Nation here, looking at the defense, if you can go up against this NATO offense and have some success being able to knock passes away and make some good tackles here, this may be one of the toughest defenses you're going to see all season, at least until you make it to the playoffs, and you're only at the Jamboree here. So.
Absolutely. And I know Independence had their night, at least on the field, come to an end before these other two teams, as Axel rolling right, and they'll blow that play dead. don't want to be hitting any quarterbacks here.
No, that's for sure.
But I think that, like you just to the point you made, Chris, we talk about Field Kinley's offense being a great challenge for Caney's defense. The flip of that coin, Caney's defense is a great challenge for Field Kinley's offense.
It is.
You play a team like Chanute, you play a team like Winfield or Augusta later in the season. You're going to see some good defenses, but Caney might be the best defense you see the first couple weeks of the year.
That is true. That is true. And the one thing about Kenny's defense is they're fast. They got some really good speed on defense.
So I think both of these coaches would tell you this is a very beneficial scrimmage for their guys because you're coming out here and you're not just getting to run plays and execute your game plan, but you're doing it against really good football teams.
That's for sure. That is for sure. We appreciate you joining us here on Pup Nation on YouTube. I'm saying that just so I'm saying that over and over, folks, just so I can remember that. So when we start weekly broadcasts, home broadcasts, I'll remember what it is. I won't lie. My memory ain't what it used to be.
That's a good job by Caney to limit that run to about 2 yards. But man, Aaron Tunstall made about 4 defenders miss there.
Yes, he did. Goodness gracious!
What a talent, man! What a talent!
I'm not going to say Caney was bringing in the people off the sideline and out of the stands to try to tackle, but it took a few to bring him down.
I apologize. That was actually not Aaron Tunstall. That was Baby J, Josh Shobe.
Oh, there you go.
And Josh Shobe, one of the best backup running backs in all of Southeast Kansas, where if he would start for about 90% of the teams in the southern half of the state if he didn't play for the same team as Aaron Tunstall. But those two, about as good of a 1-2 punch as anybody will see south of Wichita.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Shobe dealt with some injuries last year, too, so good to see him healthy back on the field, and he'll be a big piece for the NATO.
No doubt, yeah. From the shotgun, 5 wide. Down the near sideline. Did he get his feet in? They're going to mark him out of bounds at the half-foot yard line.
I was going to say.
Half-foot line.
It was hard for me to see the officials ruling, but I think they said catch, but no touchdown.
Yes, you're absolutely right. They're going to mark him out of bounds at about the 6-inch line.
It's another just really good spiral from Axel Ernie. I mean, there's a big difference between the Jamboree and, Chanute in 2 weeks for Field Kinley.
Right.
And even Emporia next week Tawanda Circle when they start the season next week.
Right.
But the deep balls I've seen tonight from Axel Ernie, he's throwing with intent tonight.
Yeah, he sure is. I mean, there's been a couple of dots, that's for sure. That is how you say it, right? A couple of dots. I got to learn my terminology, folks.
It was very good, Chris. That was a good use of the word dot.
Thank you.
That's exactly what you're supposed to use it for.
Good. Thank you. All right.
We also would have accepted that was a laser.
That's true. Good laser there, and that was a touchdown.
That was a touchdown. Little QB keeper there, fake jet sweep, and Axel took it in. And I'm sure Coach Wade, like I said, this is going to be the 3rd year for Ernie starting at quarterback, so Coach Wade believes in this guy. He wouldn't be playing if he didn't. But Coach Wade's got to be sitting down there in that huddle really liking what he's seeing from his QB1 right now.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
And I like what I've seen from Caney in run defense.
Me too. Me too. There's some young players, young people that are really stepping up, stepping their role, emerging as leaders, even just in the Jamboree here.
When you have to keep in mind that Ben Matthews, like we talked about, not out there tonight. No, he is out there. He's not dressed.
Right.
And if he was out there, that's a defensive lineman that does a great job of getting in the backfield and getting to the quarterback. So this defense playing without a very, very crucial starter right now.
He was playing some defensive line. He was actually playing some linebacker, I believe, last year as well. He can go pretty much anywhere you want him to.
That's a weapon.
And make an impact, yeah.
A guy that plays well wherever you put him. There's a sweep to Tunstall. And look at the speed.
Goodness gracious.
He didn't make it. He shoved out about the 3.
Yeah.
My favorite Aaron Tunstall story, Chris, is his sophomore season. He broke his leg about halfway through the football season. Missed all of basketball season as, of course, rehabbing a broken leg. came back for the track state championships and told me he was about 70% healthy. And Aaron runs the 100 and 200 meter for track and came second in the state in the 200 meter on 70%,
70%.
rehabbing from a broken leg.
Good grief.
Aaron Tunstall has unbelievable speed.
No doubt. And I keep forgetting we can actually watch the monitor in front of us.
That's right.
It's like, how did you know? You weren't even looking at oh, yeah, you were looking at the screen.
That's going to be benefit for you here for
really
home
is.
games.
It really is, yeah. Throwing over to the far corner.
Another really good throw.
That was a nice catch.
Man.
Nice throw, nice catch, and a touchdown for the NATO. Sound the siren.
Coach
I have to
Wade's,
say it once.
Coach Wade's got to be happy with his offense,
Yeah.
man. I don't think Caney's playing poor defense. I think Field Kinley's really executing at a high level right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with the defensive play that just happened there.
We've seen good runs from Shobe, good runs from Tunstall, 3 or 4 just really good throws from Axel Ernie. I mean, this is just, it feels like Caney is playing very stout defense,
Yep.
and Field Kinley's just taking advantage of those 3-4 plays over the course of this, this offensive series.
You're right. Yeah, Caney has definitely held their own, though.
No doubt about it.
Absolutely. So you're right.
And if you're we talked about it with the defensive penalties that the Red Ravens committed last night. If you're going to give up a 30-yard run to a star running back, you'd rather it happen in a game that doesn't matter.
Exactly.
You'd rather face Aaron Tunstall right now and be like, okay, this is how we stop a star running back.
Exactly.
Before it turns into a loss on your record.
No doubt. No doubt.
Stopping a star running back, easier said than done. Slowing him down is what I should have said.
Back from the 35.
Wheel route to Tunstall.
Tipped and actually kind of floated it just a little bit, and that was a nice defensive play.
Yeah, a little bit too much air under that one from Axel. Tunstall was open on that route. I liked the concept of the play, but kind of lobbed it in there when it should have been more of a bullet. And nice pass breakup, though, by the Bullpups. Aaron still had a chance to make that catch and popped it out with a good hit to the chest.
That's true. That's true. Nice hit there.
So good offensive play call and good defensive execution.
Let's give our props out to Shea Neal, who was actually in Salina, Kansas last night.
That's right.
Actually, about this time, you probably were driving back from Salina.
We were about halfway back 24 hours ago right now. Maybe a little less than halfway back. We got back to my apartment at about 10:30, which means Matt got home at about 11. Because I live in Indy and Matt lives in Coffeyville.
In Coffeyville.
But
Matt doesn't have to be at work until 10 o'clock the next morning. You were up bright and early, 6:30.
yeah, I was up.
KTGF.
Normally my alarm goes off at 5. Today I gave myself a little bit of a pass and I set my alarm for 5:30.
I don't blame you. Not bad.
That extra 30 minutes.
It makes all the difference sometimes.
It does. Sweep left to Tunstall, and he's going to get to the edge again. And there's just another little, about 18-yard pop.
Man.
I'll tell you what, if your initial linebacker or defensive end doesn't get him, he's going for 10 plus.
Yeah, no doubt.
And I'm not saying that for Caney. I'm saying that for any team that plays this team this year.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to get him. You got to get him in the first 2 seconds, or else you might not get him.
Yeah, 20 seconds later, he'll be celebrating a touchdown if you don't get him in those first 2 seconds.
I'm almost wondering. I don't know anything. I don't know at all. This is just a guess. If that might have been the last play we saw Aaron tonight, because obviously they don't want to get him banged up before week 1.
No, definitely not.
Just get him a couple reps, get him a couple handoffs, and send him off to week 1 wrapped in bubble wrap.
Really. Because you've seen him on a long route, you've seen him on a wheel as there's a couple of flags. Okay, everybody threw their flags.
Yeah, that was team effort right there.
Yeah.
Now, Independence would disagree with me. I'm sure Chanute would disagree with me as well. But just being a football fan in this area, Chris, just so many talented football players across all of these area schools. I want to see them all on the field making plays. I don't want to see Aaron Tunstall hurt.
Nope.
I don't want to see Ben Matthews hurt.
No,
I don't want to see Javonte White at Neo Shea hurt.
Right.
I want to see all these star football players making plays.
No
I want to
doubt.
see who's the best team on the field when they're all at their best.
No doubt about it. From the shotgun. toward the end zone, overthrown just a tad.
Yeah, not one of Axel's better throws there. Put a little too much on that one, but again, I like the aggression that the NATO are calling plays tonight. This is not just the handoff, RPO short pass that they ran for most of last year. Coach Wade is being very, very intentive to have these 15, 20, even 30-yard throws to really open up the playbook, and I love it.
No doubt.
I think it's going to be great for this football team.
No doubt. So as we're watching these two teams go out of here in the Jamboree, just remember, Pup Nation on YouTube. That's where you'll be able to see the home games. That's what we're planning on anyway, is having the home football games for Caney on Pup Nation on YouTube. You'll be able to hear the games. There's a pass. It is picked off. It was tipped at the line of scrimmage and picked off by the Bullpups. Nice interception there by the corner. And that one was tipped. So Axel had a good throw, and it got tipped at the line of scrimmage by a defensive lineman's hands. Killed the momentum on that ball just enough for it to be picked off.
I'm texting some game notes to voice of the NATO, Matt Jordan, who unfortunately couldn't be here tonight. But I'm letting him know what I'm thinking of his football team here tonight.
Absolutely. Who knows? Maybe we'll have a poll question during open line on the Mighty 690 KGGF. Which is the better touchdown call? Sound the siren, or that's a CVTD?
If me or James ever have something going on and you and Matt are working on a Saturday, I think we got to do that.
That might be interesting, yeah.
I don't know if I could pick. I love both of them.
Me too. I really can't either.
And then Ravens take flight.
Ravens take flight, that's true.
That's more of a, I do use that for touchdowns, but I think Ravens take flight works better for dunks on the basketball court.
That's true. That is true. There's a nice run to the right side. Got some good blocking from the right side of the offensive line there. Somebody using a drone out there?
Not sure.
There is a drone out there. I'm just not exactly sure if it's for
It's just somebody's flying them around.
Yeah, if it's for fun or if there's a purpose for it.
I'm sure it's somebody trying to get some film.
Probably so.
The Sky Cam here on Pup Nation.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Imagine if we could get like instant replay angles from a drone up in the sky.
That would be interesting,
sweet,
yeah. It's amazing to me. You talk about instant replay. Of course, we both broadcast CCC Sports volleyball for the Ravens.
Yep.
And it's interesting to see how video instant replay has made its way. It's not just D1, D2 anymore. We're talking JUCO with replay now.
There's full instant replay officials now in college football at JUCO. Basketball and football, you can challenge calls now. I mean, it's fully caught up.
It's crazy how cool that is, how much that technology is helping.
I think it's for the best, too. I think, obviously Division I and JUCO, I think at the end of the day, a college athlete is a college athlete. And these athletes work so hard from summer workouts all the way to the end of the season, where I know that officials aren't going to be perfect, but these athletes deserve, and these coaches deserve, the best opportunity to have a fairly officiated game possible.
Absolutely.
And I think if there's a call or two towards the end of the game that we can make sure we get right with instant replay, I'm all for it.
Absolutely. And the referees, they want to get it right as well.
Oh, yeah. They're not out here trying to screw up.
Exactly.
It's just, when 6'8" college basketball players are going up and down a court, it's easy to miss a travel sometimes.
It is. You're absolutely right. In fact, you were handling the duties over at Wendy's with the Red Raven Coaches Show Wednesday night. We actually had our first replay during the volleyball match, and it was overturned. The call was overturned because of the replay.
What a miscommunication there.
Just a little bit.
Receiver ran a post, and it looks like it was supposed to be a flag to the back corner. That's what the Jamboree's for.
Exactly.
Know your plays, execute your plays.
Get the kinks out.
Coach Wade's gonna be like, I want to call that on Friday night. Make sure you run the right route.
Well, at least it wasn't a behind the back pass.
Well, and I mean, yeah, that's true. If Axel Ernie tries to throw behind the back pass, he might not be QB1 the next play.
Yeah. If he has a behind the back pass, we might see Matt Jordan as a QB1 instead.
Let's just say, knowing Coach Wade, if Axel Ernie tries to throw behind the back pass, he better complete it.
Exactly. And then blame your tight end for running the wrong route.
That's right, that's right. Nato in the shotgun once again. Running back to the left of the senior quarterback, Axel Ernie. Little swing pass. There goes Tunstall. Goodness. One little juke. Extra 8-9 yards.
Yep.
Man.
But good job to the Caney defense to keeping him in check.
Yeah, and that's what you do with a player like that, Chris. Once he gets past the line of scrimmage and starts to turn the corner, your safeties and linebackers, their job is to angle him towards the sideline. Caney did that really, really well. Closed that sideline for him. He had to duck out of bounds. That's textbook.
Absolutely. Like the old Alabama song says, I believe there are angles among us.
That's right.
I'm trying to get all the bad jokes out of the way before week 1, ladies and gentlemen.
We all know you won't get all the bad jokes out of the way before week 1.
I'm just getting started.
Yeah.
But if you do like classic country music like Alabama, tune into Backroads tomorrow morning, 6 a.m.
And I just heard off to our right that we may have 2 snaps left here tonight.
2 snaps. So here's the final 2 snaps or thereabouts from this year's Jamboree. We appreciate you joining us on Pup Nation YouTube.
Shout out to Caney for doing this video stream. This is really cool.
Yeah, I don't think I finished my thought from earlier. But a big shout out to Superintendent Vargas, to those who have who helped me get this set up and ready to go. We're going to try to have a camera operator going with us for the home games anyway. So we'll be bringing you these. Oh, a half pass. Is that a half? Oh, wow. He was wide open.
That's a beautifully run trick play.
Wow.
That was a little flick pass. Was that Keyshawn Hayes that threw that?
It was number 10. That caught it, I believe.
It was a little.
Keyshawn.
It was a little flick from Ernie to Keyshawn Hayes, and Keyshawn. That was a dime from Keyshawn. That was a beautiful throw.
Is he QB2?
He might be after that throw.
Goodness gracious.
That was a good throw from. That throw from Keyshawn. I think was better than any play he had at receiver tonight.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
And actually, that looks like that was the final play. So cool way to end it.
Yeah, you can't beat that. So get ready, ladies and gentlemen. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors about Pup Nation on YouTube. We will be bringing you home broadcasts, not only for football, but we're going to try to go for basketball as well. And we'll bring you as many games as possible on the YouTube channel. And, of course, you can always listen to the games over on Greatest Hits 104.1. We are out of here for now. We appreciate you joining us on Pup Nation on YouTube. Get ready. Football is coming up.